welcome once again. It's your girl V on our fashion gist, and thank you for coming on today. Once again, this is Oweleketv, your best station that every other no one can beat. No one can beat. Yeah. Thank you so much for today. And today you're having another talk. It's gonna be very educative. It's gonna be very educative, and we're gonna have something to really deliberate about. Very important. We're talking about the future of our tomorrow. We're talking about everything that involves our tomorrow, our children, and your future. So I just want to, have a little talk before we dive into what we have for today. As I always tell you, fashion is life itself, because everything you do, you stay fashionable. In your fitness, in your health, in your daily activities, you just have to stay fashionable. And you can't stay fashionable without being creative. You have to be creative. No matter how ugly or not nice your outfit might look like, it's still something that you did out of creativity. But nevertheless, you should also have something presentable for the public or people around you to actually like what you are putting on or what you are doing. Art itself is beauty of its own. That is why you can also put it under fashion, because it's all about colors and being beautiful and beautifying your world, because fashion beautifies your world. As you can see, there's nobody, you can't walk naked. Adam and Eve had to, fashion has started a long time ago, starting with our Adam and Eve. That's a story from Genesis. The fact that they knew they were naked and they were running away and hiding themselves, how did they know that they could use leaves to cover up themselves? That's because they had this creative mindset that I can fix in this, this, and this, and this, and make me covered. They would just use their hands. Normally when you're shy, or when you're running out of the bedroom as a kid, and maybe you see one of your friend or one of your neighbor now looking at you eating cheeseballs, that kind of thing. You now be like, oh, you're covering with your hands, that kind of a thing, and you're just covering one side. But they knew about what I'm talking about, which is fashion, and they got leaves. And these days you can see, as we talked about last one of our shows, we talked about being creative with newspapers, with cartons, with spoon, with plastics, with metals, and different things, with buttons, playing with your mind and making things look different and actually turning trash into trendy. There's so much about fashion, there's so much about this thing that I really always want to say something about it, and I know you always have something you have in your mind also about fashion. That is why I always say, if you have a question, you can always drop it. If you have a contribution, you can always drop it. If you have a deliberation, you can always drop it at the comment section. It's opened just for you. And I said, it's just me and you on this show. We're doing this thing together. It's not just me, it's you and it's me. So that's why I just want you to understand that fashion is beautiful. I will always keep hitting and deliberating on it. You might say, this girl is talking too much about fashion. Yes, I love it, because I know fashion is life itself. And God's creation alone, He creating the world, the earth, separating the this, the that, the level, the sun, the moon, the night, the day. It's fashion. It's being fashionable. He would have just left you jawa 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 jawa, sun and moon, everything. But there is a way you separate it to make things work in alignment for each day and each time. That is the same way with fashion. If I'm putting on a dress, that's the kind of outfit I'll wear with that dress that won't suit it. If I'm putting on a bold earrings, there's something I'm going to wear that's not going to suit it. If I'm putting on a kind of maybe a boot, then I now wear a short skirt, maybe a flare, or just something that doesn't suit with the boot. You ask this, you'll be like, what is she putting on? You would definitely ask questions. Even if you don't have any broad knowledge about fashion, you will know that this one is off, this one is kill fashion, it's just killing fashion. You will know, you will feel it, because the thing is not looking nice, it's not looking presentable, it's not looking like something you want to wear. But when I put on something that you actually want to put on, that you look at it and say, I like this, I think I can wear this, trust me, you will give me that compliment that I deserve. So that's so much about fashion that I know you must be creative to stand out in the fashion world. So today I just want to talk about the last one of our talk shows. We talked about kids modeling on the runway, and we saw how beautiful they were doing these things, and we talked about the training. We talked about how much they push themselves to make this happen, because it's not really easy training kids. It might be more, you can imagine how tough it is training adults, then you can now imagine how it is training kids. So now I want us today to talk about the repercussions for kids modeling. The repercussions for kids modeling. So number one I want us to talk about is working with stress and pressure. That's the number one. How well can a child take this pressure and stress? Now, don't forget, when this child began, he just had, or she just had, the feeling that I'm just gonna come and walk on the runway. I'm just gonna, do some kind of things on the runway. There's nothing much for me to do. But there's actually stress in this thing, because number one, if you want to take a photo shoot, you know how long it can take to actually take a photo shoot. The angles, they'll tell you turn left, turn right, stand straight, turn around, and sometimes the producer itself or himself can be frustrated. And imagine a producer shouting at a kid and saying, "Stand well! Come on, will you stand well? I want to take this shot." And the kid is crying. It's crying because a kid is a kid. So these are some of the things we're looking at today, how it's possible to avoid, one thing in this life, there are profits and there are loss. So this is one of the loss I feel it is for children to actually model. It's beautiful, but before your child goes into this modeling thing, make sure you are ready. Make sure that child is mentally ready to take the stress. And most of these things, most models don't even get to eat, because a whole day they are taking a photo section, they are taking a film section. There's so much, and there's so much pressure. How well can this child take it? Sometimes they even get pressured in school. Imagine someone telling you, "Oh, the outfit you wore for that shoot was not nice," and they begin to mock them. And it can be depressing for a child that is not yet emotionally strong. It can really be depressing. It can really be tiring. It can really be bad for that child. That child can just wake up one day and say, "I'm tired of life," and you know how things go these days. And with all the whole trend online, they might just see suicide as a normal solution to any problem that they are facing. So most times, if you really want your child to go into this thing, you should also look into this aspect. Can they handle stress? Can they handle the pressure? Because there is pressure, so much pressure, from the producer, from the director, from the teaching, from the training. There is so much pressure. And think about it when you're taking your child into this. These are one of the things that are very, very critical and very dangerous for children as a model. So number two, we're going to talk about repercussions for kid modeling is maintaining good looks. Now, when we say maintaining good looks, we are already thinking about the skin. We're thinking about how they look. As a child back then, as an African child, you rub palm kernel oil, right? And you look great. You rub the normal Vaseline, and you look beautiful. But now, in our days, the whole chemical days, there are a lot of things you need to put on: the syrup, the bleaching creams, everything that you have to just make your skin glow and shine. Now, as a child, it is not always advisable to take such chemicals into. Most of these things are what adults do, like female adults. We're not really dabbling into the male, because the male, there is this natural glory God has just given them, that they wake up in the morning and they still look handsome. but a lady just lose that confidence that when she wakes up in the morning, she might be looking beautiful, but you know, she's like, no, 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 I don't have my contour. Oh, no, no, my lashes. Oh, my D's. Oh, my lips are, you know, before you know it, they start going for surgery. They want to make it look like Angelina Jolie. They want to have this, you know, Barbie girl looks. All those are just camera looks that are not actually who you really are. So if a child begins to enter into that stage, I won't call it a good thing for a child to enter those stage. When we were much little, we rub pankane oil, very slim. Okay, Piers was part of them, you know, just, and it our skins were glowing under the sun, under the moon, sun, day and night. It was always beautiful, but now, you know, things just begins to evolve and change and affects positively and negatively. So imagine your child at the age of 4, 5, and he or she is already putting on syrup. And there is this syrup that is like oil. They use it on their faces. All this night routine, morning routines, and you see a child of 5 or 4 or 6, 9, 10, you know, 12, yeah, we could double into 15, 16, and you see them already using creams, chemicals. You know, these creams we rub, you get to rub them at a certain age when your skins are a little bit tougher, not to get easily affected by them. That's why they tell you 7 days, but a child can rub that in 2 days and voila, the skin is all changed. So imagine a child of that age using chemical, and these chemicals are not really for kids. Yeah, they can tell you they are making things that will be suitable for a child to rub it and look good, but it's not really. I believe it can push a child into peer pressure. Now when a child has a normal round nose, you are beautiful because God created everything beautiful, but now because of the screen being on stage, they tend to want to go into making surgery. I get to see videos of such. You see a small child trying to make sure her nose is pointed, a small boy, or trying to make sure his ears are not flapping, or his hairs are, you know, some get to start fixing some kind of hair, you know, or you see some little boys, they begin to wear earrings or begin to pierce. These kind of things are what are not really healthy for children that are growing. It's not healthy for children that are growing. It's really, 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 really something we should look into as parents or as guidance when letting your children into the modeling section. Modeling is beautiful, but look into these things and make sure your child is ready, or make sure your child has somebody guiding him or her at every stage of his or her life, so that there won't be a lot of things going wrong at an early age that cannot be corrected when he or she is older. So now we're going to also look into the number 3, which is coping with rejection. How well can a child cope with rejection? As I am like this, I can tell you, as an adult, you know, most adults go for job opportunity and voila, your CV is top notch, your writings are wonderful, but the person is telling you, sorry, I don't need you, just get out of my office, you're not needed. Or maybe you come in looking all tired, then you're trying to cheer up and just make the photo shoot count, and they're like, what are you doing here? Come on, get out of here. How dare you stand in my stage and look so fabby? Now, you as an adult, you feel terrible when someone else shouts at you and make you feel bad or less of yourself. You know, but imagine a child of 12, of 10, of 15 standing trying to pose or trying to, you know, do something as a model. Then the producer, the actor, the artist is like, hey, 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 when you get out of there, you look so stupid, you look, you know, some of them use those abusive words, and those things affect children. That's why children these days, you just hear them saying some crazy things, and you're like, how did they get that? It's from all, these are part of the things, these are some places they can get that from. You know, telling a child, hey, you look ugly, it's depressing for that child. That child may not be able to handle it. That child may not be mentally strong or physically, mentally, spiritually, or ever strong to handle such kind of rejection. Rejection takes a strong mind. Rejection takes a strong mind, like really strong mind to handle. Okay, imagine as an adult you ask a girl out and she says no. As much as you're a guy and you're expecting no or yes, and you received no, it's still painful. So imagine a child in that kind of situation, always receiving a no, you're not looking good, you're not doing it well, come on, stand well, come on, turn around well, come on, do this well, come on, do this, and he's always feeling bad. And try to be more encouraging, especially with your kids. This is a solution that I'm giving. V is telling you, please try and encourage these children. If this is their passion, if this is what they want to do, encourage them. Make them happy that what they are doing is what the while. They are not wasting their time. They are not doing less. So please, these are part of things I said we should talk about, or I should bring out for you to look into, and let your child not be on a lost course going into any kind of passion or any kind of dream jobs or any kind of thing that he or she wants to do. Now there are good things in this. Now let's look into, I have something for you that is building self-esteem. Yeah, that's one good thing about modeling. As we talked about the last time, some kid models were really top notch. Like you could see the whole confidence they had. You could see the way they were not scared of anything. They were like, I can do it, and I did it, and I slayed. Like the African girl with a nice native. When she came in, then she went back, and she turned, and all those things. And this is crowd, in the midst of crowd. This kind of things build self-esteem. Most children that are not into modeling don't have good, strong or high self-esteem because they can't handle crowd. But kids that actually go into this modeling get to have more confidence, get to have more high self-esteem of who they are or what they want in this life. They are not tired of it. They are not scared of facing challenges. Now they might have gone through some kind of pressure that makes them toughen up. Yeah, they toughen up, like when you're even trying to tell them things to weaken them, they tell you, sorry, I can do it. And sometimes you see some kids, you're like, come on, you can't do this. They're like, don't worry, let me try. What gives that child that confidence to say, I want to try? That's having a good high self-esteem. Even some adults these days don't have it. But most of these kind of careers like modeling gives a child good high self-esteem, and that's the benefit of also letting your child go into this modeling thing. Now I'm not saying pack your children and put them into modeling. No, there are ways to actually give them, boost their self-esteem. There are many ways to do it. It's not just modeling, but there are many ways. So, but this is part of it, and it's something very intriguing to let your child do. Okay, we're also going to look into developing positive work ethics. Now, most children, even most adults, don't have the whole very good work ethics. This is something, there are a lot of things about working ethics with people around you. Most of these children get to work with different kind of artists, different kind of producer, different kind of directors, the ones that are shouting, the ones that are calm, the ones that are understanding, the ones that are friendly, the ones that are rude, the ones that are actually very mean. They work with different kind of people, and you see this thing it braces them up very well. It makes them say, I can do this here and there, anytime, anywhere. And no matter who you are, when you come to talk to them, they're like, I can do it. And they do it because they're not afraid of the mistakes anymore. They're not afraid of the errors anymore, because they have made so much errors. They have been corrected by the mean ones, by the bossy ones, by the friendly ones, by so many other things. And that's the nice thing. That's one profitable thing about kids modeling. As I said, we want to talk about the losses, that's the bad ones, and also the good ones, because everything there is a profit and loss. There's a good and bad in everything, just as the world has been created. So this is one of the good things I know a child can get from being a model at a tender age, like 15, 12, and so on. we have lesser age like 5 and 8 and 10. So no matter how old you are, you get to work with different people. You learn different things. As far as you get smart, you see children that act movies, they are smart. Yes, because they get to read scripts and it gives them that courage. Outside they can talk because they have little training from backstage. So also we are also going to look into, okay, let's just call this lastly, exposure to the competitive world, like being exposed in our competitive world. The world itself is very competitive, very, very competitive. Businesses are competitive, academics, they're all competitive. Everything is just so, everything is a competition. I want to be the best. Your academy, the person taking first, you want to make sure you hit him out or she out of the way and take first. In your business line, the person making more profit, you want to beat the person. That's why you keep seeing different kind of adverts here and there, just to make sure they make it happen and be the best among the rest. So this also helps your child to, you know, face this reality. You know, reality, a lot of children are afraid of reality. You know, they're always under the shell of mommy, daddy, under the shell of auntie, uncle. But with this little thing, you know, they get exposed to some certain things that can actually make them understand that not everything I do is a go yes. You know, some things I do might be very beautiful, but everybody might not accept it. You can be wearing something, like I can be wearing this is beautiful, but somebody can come and tell me today that, sorry, I don't like your outfit, it's not beautiful. And because I have had this sense of I know that the world is not always acceptable, I can say, okay, no problem, I like it. It might not be good for you, but it's good for me. You know, that's a good sense of courage that one can get as a child. So yes, I have so much to tell you, so much, and I want you to, I have so much to tell you, and I want you to understand that fashion is something everybody can do and anybody can make it happen. So your child being part of the model or being a model is something good for your child. Don't get crazy when your child say, this is what I want to do. Mama, papa, let them do it and see them fly and soar higher. Thank you very much. I'm very happy that you stay tuned to listen. I'm sure you learned something. I'm sure you are happy you learned something today. As I will always say, if you have comments, please drop it. If you have your questions, your answers, your commentation, whatever, just drop it on the comment section and I'll be here to always answer to every one of it. So please, thank you so much for staying tuned with Vivian. I love you and I know you love me, and see you next time on our show on Oweleketv on our fashion gist. See you some other time. Mwah.